see. Next on the agenda
Finance
is, yes, our finance and personnel.
Nothing's.
Nothing?
Yeah.
Okay. No report. We do need a motion and a second on the personnel report.
Make a motion to approve.
All right, Mr. Bridges makes a motion to approve the personnel report. Second. Second by Mr. Humphries. All in favor? All right, all opposed? All right, that's 8-1. All right. Safety and operations report, Mr. Spurlin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The December 1st Safety and Operations Committee meeting was called to order by Committee Chair Walter Spurling. Daniel Howe shared that he continues to be in schools, and schools are doing a good job following safety plans and procedures. Dr. Stephen Fisher shared that middle and high school safety visits have been scheduled for January. During these visits, all aspects of school safety are reviewed with the school administration, law enforcement, and our district team. Rodney Borders showed good work between law enforcement and school personnel on student issues. Dr. Fisher reminded the committee of the new athletic event safety procedure of a clear bag policy. This procedure is in place and underway with basketball starting. Appropriate signage, notification, and communication is being shared with the public. There were no agency reports. Leah Sink shared an update on Marion's school purchase agreement. The sale would be with Preservation North Carolina, who would then sell the property to One More, One Less in a back-to-back closing. The committee discussed the agreement at length. The committee approved the recommendation, and it will go to the full board for approval at the December meeting. Dr. Jennifer Wampler and Chip Childers shared the capital projects report. This report will be shared with the full board as an information item at the December meeting. Brian McClung shared a list of DWI vehicles for surplus and sale from transportation. The committee supported this recommendation, and it will go to the full board for approval in December. With no additional business, the meeting was adjourned. The next Safety and Operations Committee meeting is scheduled for Monday, January 5th, 2026 at 11:45 in room 308.
Thank you, Mr. Spurlin. We do have a list of surplus items that does come from committee to sell. Any questions on the surplus items? All in favor of getting rid of the surplus items? It's 9-0. All
I
right.
got a discussion
Yes, sir.
on those minutes. We discussed the numbers in that committee, and that wasn't a unanimous vote. It was a 2-1 vote. As I've said before, I'm still not against that group, but we're growing here in Cleveland County. We're growing. There's 120 babies born in November at Shelby Hospital. They're going to be kindergartners in a couple years. But I want it understood.
Chairman,
Those
are we
minutes-
opening the floor to discuss this?
Wait, your minutes is, the minutes
are
is
we-
not right for
uh,
that meeting.
Point of order.
What's your point of order?
Are we opening the discussion
I am allowing Mr.
now
Blanton
for the sale?
No, I am allowing Mr. Blanton to discuss the part where it was mentioned in the operations about the contract that was approved.
Was the minutes.
Yeah, if you could briefly continue, but
Okay.
I'm not gonna sit here,
All right.
okay? All right.
All right. The minutes is not correct.
Well,
Well, okay.
they're not, the minutes are correct. You can
They
continue on.
left out part of the minutes. How's
Okay.
that sound?
Okay.
The minutes on all of the other stuff was completely right. But the minutes on the on the sale of the property. That was not included in there, and those prices was put there. And I want to make it clear, still, I'm not against that group, but the price, and we got a growing, we need to, this board needs to discuss, and it's just like the vote on chair and vice chair, you
Mr.
know.
Now you're getting
Okay,
off topic.
all right, I got my 30 minutes in a little bit,
Okay,
Look, Tom,
but
can I ask a question?
yes.
I'm trying to figure
our
out.
minutes is not right
I'm-
about
okay.
that.
No, I'm trying to figure out what you're saying that the votes were not recorded for that vote. Is that what you're saying?
Well, basically that, and it's not showing the numbers that was brought out in the meeting of the 140,000. And it was not brought out in those minutes.
Ms. Sink, I didn't hear what you said.
The presentation of the Sheriff Operations Committee is linked.
Yes. The PowerPoint that we saw is linked in this, so that number and all the figures are in that link.
But those minutes right there.
Let me try to clear up something, and I'll help you. The vote was 2-1. You were not in favor. I understand that. The numbers were attached to that thing in the community. So I think you made it very clear you didn't vote for it. You're correct. All right. Anything else about this particular? I'm just trying to keep you on track about this.
Why was that, the PowerPoint then not put with his minutes then and let him read that then? Let's just make sure that we got everything.
It's available to the community already.
It's published.
Okay.
All right. All right. Mr. Chairman, I have one question. Yes, sir.
Mr. Sperling, could you elaborate on the thing about the safety plans and procedures? What is that and what does it include?
This has been tradition, when we start talking about safety in our schools, we want to be very, very limited on what we say in public about the safety in schools. Now, I'll let Mr. Sperling speak on that, but I want Mr. Sperling to understand that when it comes to safety as our schools, that's something we don't publicize because we don't know who's watching or whatever, so we don't want to give away our secrets.
Then
I'm
he
not
can
trying
speak to me, then he can speak to me in public later.
Okay, all right, but I just want to be careful with that. That's
But
just
we
been a
talk
tradition.
about these things and we never know what it is that we're talking about.
Okay. Well, you can call Mr. Sperling, myself, or the superintendent, and we'll be glad to fill you in on all that. Okay?
Or as a board member, you are more than welcome to attend our next meeting on January 5th at 11:45. We'll even feed you
Oh, he
lunch.
can't.
I'm not a member of that committee, though.
It can be up to 4.
We can have up to 4. We have 3 on that committee meeting, so you are more than welcome to come and join us.
Let me just say this, and this may help some. We are going to a clear policy bag. That was one of the main things we discussed. And I want to say that where the public can hear it, because we don't need people, we're going to start at basketball season. We don't need people showing up with backpacks that are not see-through. So that was discussed as well. But to get into nuts and bolts of safety, I hope you understand why. Okay, all right, thank you. Anything else? All right. Let's vote. I done lost my track of thought now. Did we vote on the surplus? I don't think. We did. Okay, all right. Education programs and policy. Ms. Sherman.
Okay.
We did capital projects. We didn't do capital projects.
That was just an attachment for to view. There's nothing to vote on. That's just a capital project report.
Okay.
All right, the December 2nd Educational Programs and Policy Committee meeting, excuse me, was called to order by committee member Ronnie Grigg. Dr. Stephen Fisher and Leah Sink reminded the committee that 5 policies with legal updates based on recent legislation are up for a second read and approval at their December meeting. The committee discussed the policies and relevant situations. Those policies are 740, 4010, Student and Parent Grievance Procedure, 1750, 7220, grievance procedure for employees. 2125-7315, confidential information. 4050, children of military families, and 4270-6145, concussion and head injury. Dr. Jennifer Wampler shared 2 policy updates recommended by the North Carolina School Board Association related to recent changes in the law. The changes were reviewed by the committee for the following policies: 3220, technology in the educational program, and 3226-4205, internet safety. The committee recommended the changes, and these policies will go to the full board for a first read at their December meeting. As part of the normal review of policies, 8 policies in the 7,000 section, personnel were reviewed. These policies were 7240, drug and alcohol-free workplace, 7241, drug and alcohol testing of commercial motor vehicle operators, 7241-R, guidelines for drug and alcohol testing of commercial motor vehicles operators, 7235, tobacco, vaporizers, and other electronic smoking devices, 7260, occupational exposure to bloodborne pathogens, 7262, communicable diseases for employees, 7266, emergency epinephrine delivery devices, and 7267, automated external defibrillator. No changes were recommended to these policies. Dr. Brian Hunnell and Paula Peeler shared a Head Start presentation along with financial and various documentation for approval. The committee supported the information shared and recommended that it go to the full board for approval in December. Dr. Hunnell and Stephanie Henson presented an EC staffing contract. The committee supported this contract, and it will go to the full board for approval in December. Dr. Chris Bennett presented some instructional information and data specific to teacher EVOS data. He shared a comparison of teacher data from 2024 to 2025. Elementary and middle school data showed an increase in the percentage of teachers meeting or exceeding growth in tested areas. I'd like to read that sentence again. Elementary and middle school data showed an increase in the percentage of teachers meeting or exceeding in tested areas. We also saw a district increase in reading and math growth. Mr. Grigg requested that the board review the student code of conduct. This was discussed and determined to be a good potential topic for a spring board work session. With no additional new business, the meeting was adjourned. The next Educational and Policy Committee meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, January 6, 2026 at 11:30 a.m.
Thank you, Ms. Sherman.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I have a question for Mr. Sherman. I seem to remember hearing at the policy, meeting that somewhere in there that
Ron, if you turn your microphone, Danny can't hear you.
the students and the, parents' complaint, is that something different from the, student and parent grievance procedure?
Yes, and I
Okay,
think,
so that's not in this group that we're voting on right now?
I believe that's what Dr. Hunnell went over and Dr. Fisher, the difference between a complaint and a grievance. If I'm correct, we know during that meeting.
Mr. Gray, you're correct that the complaint procedure is not listed on policies for approval. It's
Okay.
only the grievance procedure.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Yes. On that 1740, 4010 on the students and parents grievance policy, I don't know for sure on everything that was said and what was added and what wasn't, but any parent or any child that has a grievance and would like to come and speak to this board, they shouldn't nobody turn them away. We're put here to listen to the people and the students. And if they've got an issue with us or they need to talk to us about something, I think that we need that policy fixed in place to where they don't have to go 14 miles to try to get to talk to us. And, if there's something needs to be added to that policy to give a person, sort of give them an open door to come to us. No, I'm not wanting, 14,000 kids, to start coming in and for the grievance, but if a kid's got an issue or a parent and they want to talk to the board, I feel like that we ought to give them that little bit of time.
All right, let me just address that right quick. We as a school board try to follow the chain of command, and I understand what you're saying, Mr. Blanton. But if we start allowing every student or parent that has a complaint to come straight to us,
Well, I mean go through the chain of command. Excuse me, let me
Okay.
change that statement.
okay? All right. But what I was going to say is, if we get involved and we hear it, we're the final say. So we can't hear the case and be the judge of the case.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Well, I
So,
took a sworn oath to tell the truth.
I'm not saying you're lying. Nobody's saying you're lying.
I put my hand on the Bible.
Nobody, I'm just saying that if we open the door for, we automatically jump to the board hearing the case before it goes through the chain of command, then we are eliminating ourselves from being able to hear the case in the final verdict. It's kind of like I don't want to say it this way, but I'm going to say it, we're kind of like the judge. We have the final say.
Right.
So
That's
why we-
true, but we should not disallow, once that parent, that child, that employee goes through the chain of command, and they're not satisfied, and they don't feel they've got an answer, it should come before the full board, not a committee of the board, but the full board.
I think that's part of the chain of command.
It's there.
It's there.
No, but I
it's already
understand
written.
it's been on committees instead of,
I've never been on a committee that sat and heard a student or parent issue.
I thought I'd been told it happened before.
No, that was something, when the full board, when it goes through the grievance process and the full board, it comes to the board, the full board will hear that in a closed session.
Do we not have something similar to that right now? I think so,
What? Well, I don't understand what you're saying.
involving Crest High School.
What about Chris High School?
Don't we have a situation that needs to come before the full board?
I talked to the superintendent to find out where it's at in this grievance process.
Because we got a letter saying that they were requesting a meeting.
If we meet with everybody, request to meet with the board.
We don't have everything, but, I mean, I think we need to have that, yes.
Okay. We're not going to get into it tonight, but we do
Chairman?
have, yes, sir.
Just real quick, I'd like to make sure that our new board members and Mr. Blanton said he didn't know what had changed. The changed parts on the policy are highlighted in red in the policy. And the grievance procedure, Mr. Lefford, it starts in section D, and it explains how they have rights.
I read it
to-
2 or 3 times, Mr.
Okay.
Spurlin, so I know exactly what it says.
All right, let's move on to the first read of policy 3220, and no action required on these, and these are first read only, and 3226, 4205. Now, this comes from committee, policies 1740, 4010, 1750, 7220, 2125, 7315, 4050, and 4270, 6145. Those do come from committee. All those in favor? Any opposed?
Sorry, I reduced my vote.
Okay. All those in favor again?
No.
All right. All those opposed? All right, that'd be 7-2. All right. Let's see. Next is the EC contract and Head Start. Both from committee. What's the pleasure of the board? Well, it comes from committee, so I don't have to ask for a vote. All those in favor of approving the EC contract and Head Start? That's 9-0. All right. Next on the agenda is the superintendent's update.
Chairman, members of the board, just a few updates for you tonight. Number one, it was mentioned earlier, congratulations to the football teams at Crest High School and Shelby High School for advancing to the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Football State Championships. Both of those games, fortunately, we played at the same site on Saturday, so that will be good schedule-wise for all of our folks that play on Saturday. I believe Shelby is at 2 p.m. and Crest is at 8 p.m. Next week is high school exam week, so if parents of high schoolers are listening and they're not sure about their child's exam schedule next week, they do need to tune into their high schools. Friday the 12th, this coming Friday, will be teacher-made exams, and our end-of-course exams will begin on Monday, December 15th. This year, for the first time, we've communicated this to you, but for the first time, we are able to retest in high school. So most of our students with end-of-course test will test on Monday, December 15th, those EOCs in Math 1, Math 3, and Biology. Most of those will be on Monday, give a chance to get scores back on Tuesday, and have an opportunity for students that weren't proficient to maybe retest on Wednesday or Thursday. English 2 will be later in the week. Retest for English 2 because of the time for scoring will be in January. Then also our CTE exams will be later that week. So the busy week at the high schools there for exams. As mentioned here, the last day prior to Christmas break for all students is Friday 19th. That is our early release date at 11:30. The January 2nd, January 5th are teacher work days. We do have 2 teacher work days when we come back from Christmas to begin the second semester. And the student's first day is January 6th. You've gotten a copy of these, but also just a reminder about upcoming committee meeting schedules, and your next board meeting is Monday, January 12th. So, Mr. Chairman, that's the extent of my report today.
Thank you, Dr. Fisher. Any questions for Dr. Fisher?
Dr. Fisher, where is the football game going to be held?
It is played in Durham. It's a Durham athletic park. It's a community park. It's not played at College University. I'll get that address and we'll send that to you, but it's played in Durham. Yeah, it's in Durham this year.
Are they televising those this year?
They will, it'll be televised through the High School Athletic Association thing. Again, we'll try to remember, get a link and send that to you. Excited about our young people being able to have an opportunity to do that.
All right, thank you, Dr. Fisher. Next on the agenda is public participation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 people signed up to speak. Our policy says we have 15 minutes. Without objection, I will allow each of the 7 to have 3 minutes. Anybody opposed? All right, if you will read our rules concerning our public participation, Mr. Bridges.
Yep, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Public comment should not address any specific confidential student or personnel matter. Specific concerns related to confidential student or personnel matters should be directed to the superintendent or designee. Comments must be relevant to matters that are within the authority of the board. Speakers shall refrain from personal attacks or threats directed towards staff, elected board members, or members of the public. Speakers shall be courteous in their language and presentation. Insults, profanity, use of vulgar language, or other gestures or inappropriate behaviors are not allowed. The board vests in its chair and presiding officers authority to terminate the remarks of any individual when he or she does not adhere to these rules above. Any person who willfully interrupts or disrupts a board meeting may be directed to leave the meeting by the presiding officer. Any persons who refuses to leave may be prosecuted for disrupting a public meeting. Persons appearing before the board are reminded as a point of information that members of the Cleveland County Board of Education are without authority to act independently as individuals in official matters. Immediate answers are not generally possible and must be deferred pending investigation and consideration by the full board.
Thank you, Mr. Bridges. First one I have is Kristen Callahan.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Kristen Callahan, and I'm here as both a parent and the founder of Families for Sensory-Friendly Schools, a growing community of families across Cleveland County who want to see our schools better equipped to support neurodivergent children. I'm here because this issue is deeply personal to me. I have a sweet, loving, intelligent little boy who is autistic, and every day he tries his hardest in an environment that wasn't built with his needs in mind. And every day I watch him come home feeling defeated, not because he is unwilling, but because he is overwhelmed. He has received frowns, negatives, and consequences for behaviors that are not choices but dysregulation. He apologizes over and over again as if existing the way his brain works is something wrong. And he is not alone. Many parents across our district are sharing the same stories. And let me be clear, this is not a teacher problem. This is a systems problem. Our teachers care deeply, but they do not have the training, tools, or resources to support neurodivergent students effectively. They are doing everything they can with what they've been given, and that's what we can change. My ask tonight is simple, doable, and already halfway underway. A district-wide sensory-friendly program that includes sensory-friendly supports in each elementary school classroom, not a separate room or regular class, that includes visual schedules, flexible seating, calm-down corners, noise reduction options, soft lighting, fidgets, and increased breaks. These tools help autistic children regulate, but they also benefit every child in the room. Autism-informed staff training, not new staff, not expensive programs, just training built into the existing professional development using our system's own occupational therapists and EC teachers. An inclusive, equitable behavior policy. The systems like the PBIS rewards often unintentionally punish disability. They shouldn't be excluded from rewards because they struggle with sensory overload or transition. We want behavior policies that recognize sensory regulation, overstimulation, fight or flight responses, and the differences between won't and can't. I know budget concerns will be the first question, but sensory-friendly changes do not require large spending. And crisis-driven interventions, the way that we are doing it now, cost the district far more in time, staffing, and burnout. This is not about spending more money, it's about spending the money we already have more effectively and in compliance with IDEA and ADA requirements. This matters because when neurodivergent students are understood, included, and supported, their behavior improves, their confidence grows, teachers experience less stress, classrooms become calmer, learning becomes more accessible for everyone. This is not just a special education issue, this is a community issue. No child should struggle because the system wasn't built for them in mind. Neurodivergent students aren't misbehaving or falling behind, they're falling through gaps that we have the power to close. In just a short time, our community petition has gathered 258 signatures. They aren't just names on a page, they're families, teachers, grandparents, and community members who believe our schools can do better. This level of support shows that the need is real and people are paying attention. In closing, you have incredible staff, you have families who want to work with you, you have beginnings of great initiatives, and all that we are asking is take the next step together to make our schools sensory-informed, consistent, and safe for every child, where they are understood, supported, and included, where they have the same chance to succeed as every other student. Thank you for listening, and thank you for caring about our children as much as we do.
Thank you, Ms. Callahan.
I also have some handouts if you guys want to just look at them at a later time.
If you will hand them to this lady right here, and would you get it? Yeah, you're welcome, ma'am. All right. Next is Terry McCollum. Is there a, oh, okay.
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Okay, I couldn't hear the last part very well. I'm Terry McCollum. I'm a retired teacher for 12 years, happily, but I taught in all three systems. I started at Kings Mountain Junior High with Jerry Hoyle, and I finished my last three at Kaiser Elementary, the last 13 years in the county's best-kept secret. I want to readdress an issue with you tonight that has been addressed in the past, and I ask you to revisit the need for a clear and transparent policy as to how schools are to handle the presence of ICE officials or Border Patrol approaching school grounds or school buses. Now, I've heard of one principal who publicly shared a policy that had been given to the principals, I assume from you, for such situations. I also have talked personally with teachers from different county schools, as to what information they've been given as to what to do if ICE officers approach and them or their students while on the job. Their answer was they've received no instructions or directions. Perhaps, as often happens, it's just a lack of communication. But here's my request. Make your policy about the steps schools, teachers, bus drivers should follow known to all of them as well as to the public. And maybe you think you've done this, but it has not been done as it should be done if any teacher is unaware of the policy. No one working in our schools should have any doubt about the steps to take if Border Patrol officers are on campus, approaching campus, or waiting at bus stops. Not talking about the presence of ICE agents does not make it go away. And let me be totally transparent here. In this county of mixed political leanings, you have teachers whose feelings about students are mixed. Some are there to educate whomever you assign to them to the best of their abilities, including light brown kids, who come to school to be warm, to eat, to be safe for a few hours, and maybe learn something. You have others who would much prefer teaching all-white, middle-class, well-fed, well-clothed students, eager to ace all the AP exams we can throw at them. All teachers need to know what you expect of them. They need to know exactly how to handle this problem because it is here. And I'll go so far as to request, I'm doing good, request that this policy be discussed and shared with each school's faculty and that one of you be present at every such meeting. This will clearly demonstrate your support for the safety and well-being of our students and your employees. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. McCullough. Next, Donna Huey Brooks.
It's been a while since.
Yeah, it's been a while. I don't know if you're talking to me or Ron, but
First of all, good evening, board members and members of the community. My name again is Donna Huey Brooks, and I've been a part of this school system for many years with children who have gone through the county schools and now grandchildren who are attending. And through the years, I've seen firsthand how the decisions made in this room or in the old boardroom on Post Road have affected the lives and experiences of students, the county staff, as well as our community's future. I also understand that the board faces difficult decisions, especially with budget limitations, maintaining aging facilities, and the need to plan for the future. I know your role in balancing those resources while addressing enrollment growth, long-term planning, while at the same time keeping in mind what's best for the students as well as the taxpayers can't be an easy one. As someone who cares deeply about this system, I believe that every property, every dollar, and every long-term asset matters. And whether the building is in use or not, whether it represents years of investment from families and taxpayers, I know the community watches closely when decisions involved in land or facility may have future value. They watch it closely. When a significant property decision comes up, the public naturally wants to understand the full process, the condition of the building, how it was valued, how it was assessed, how the decision fits into the growth projections, and what alternatives were considered. Transparency helps us all feel confident that every option has been evaluated carefully and fairly. I understand that a decision on one more, one less may have already been made. And as a former foster child and one who grew up to foster and later adopt her own children, I am sure that a program such as this can meet a need anywhere it goes. But I humbly admit that I wish there was more time to review the data and to gather more public understanding before you all consider your final vote. But that being said, I do thank you for your service to our schools and for listening to families like mine that care deeply about transparency and the future success of this school district.
Thank you, Ms. Brooks. Next is Mr. Rob Powell.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, Dr. Fisher, thank y'all for having me here to speak tonight. My name is Rod Powell, and I'm here as a retired 30-year school teacher and as part of the community that cares deeply about our students and our schools. Now, I'm worried about how little this board reflects the people of Cleveland County. As we saw these students up here, these wonderful students that were recognized a little bit ago, we saw how diverse Cleveland County is. Black families, brown families, working families, new residents, and families that have been here for generations. Now, when folks look at this board, they don't see the full picture. When people cannot see themselves in their leadership, trust begins to thin. When a board feels that its seats are guaranteed, it starts making decisions without considering everyone. We've seen that in this real estate deal that still hangs over the district. We see it in the fear carried by immigrant families who wonder if federal agents might appear near a school. We see it in the choices that fall hardest on the LGBTQ students who already carry more than their share of worry. And we need to say this plainly here. People across the county are watching you. Parents, teachers, and students are paying attention to how you conduct yourselves, particularly online, how you lead, and how you treat people that come into this room. Be mindful of them. Part of the problem is politics creeping into a place where politics should not rule the day. Now, some of that pressure comes from our congressman in Washington who shows little interest in the educational needs of our families and our students here in Cleveland County. Folks, school boards were meant to be nonpartisan bodies focused on children, teachers, and learning. When partisanship takes over, trust disappears. Cleveland County deserves a board that looks like Cleveland County, a board that listens with humility, a board that debates openly and owns its decisions, a board that understands realities our students face in Shelby, Kings Mountain, Boston, and Kaiser. Across the county, folks, people have been talking about the need for new voices and fresh perspectives. Voices grounded in classroom experience, rural realities, and the small city realities that shape life here in Cleveland County. We've heard these conversations, and we have taken them to heart. Where that leads, time will tell. Our students deserve better, our teachers deserve better, and this county deserves a board that reflects all of us. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. Next, Mr. Jeff Marburger.
Thank you guys so much for your time and tonight. Excuse me. Just grateful to be with you guys today and just encouraged by your guys' diligence. And also, I do believe firmly that people that care deeply for all, no matter what race or I feel like my family is a perfect example of that. I hope I can lead my sons well that are African American, even though I'm not African American. And so I do think that is worthy to be said, that you guys are doing well. And I do not have any vested interest in the idea of kickbacks or anything like that. I did want to make that known. The idea of our ministry partnering with Cleveland County Schools to continue to create purpose through Marion School has what's always been at our heart and what continues to be at our heart even through this. And I do totally understand the financial conversation behind that and the idea that there is hundreds of thousands of dollars that will be left on the table if One More, One Less project is honored to be entrusted with that property. But with that, I think that creates an opportunity to continue to serve the kids of Cleveland County Schools. And at the end of the day, I know your heart is to care for the kids of Cleveland County Schools. And I know One More, One Less project's heart is to care for the kids of Cleveland County Schools. And so if we look at this as a business transaction, none of us would be here. I'm not in business to make money. You guys are not in business to make money. And I totally understand budgets and schools needing to be fixed up. But at the end of the day, I think the idea of this not being turned into a housing development or something else that will happen if it goes to an upset bid is worth thinking about and processing. And I don't say that lightly. I know that decision is heavy on you guys, and I appreciate all that you guys are doing in and through this process. And we don't take it lightly, your roles, and I would encourage you to be spurred on, continue to care deeply for kids, and I pray that you guys would see that we continue to care deeply about kids. And there is absolutely, that's one of the things through this public discourse that has frustrated me, is that the idea that you guys are criminals and the idea is that we are criminals, because I believe firmly that you guys have Cleveland County Schools' kids' best interest in mind, and I too have Cleveland County Schools' kids' best interest in mind. So thank you guys so much for your time and consideration, and I will pray for expediency, because the building does continue to be empty and not serve anyone, and so the idea of it serving someone is very appealing to me as a community member and as One More, One Less project. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Mr. Marlboro. Jenny Ross.
Hi. I prepared 2 speeches tonight, and I had to dispense with both of them. As this may be my only chance to speak publicly before the sale of Marion comes back before the board, I do want to once again ask you to vote no. At the October 21st public hearing, the chair painted a picture of a school district that is in financial distress. And I hear that, and I understand that money does not grow on trees. And therefore, CCS cannot afford to give a discount on this property, noble as the buyer's cause may be. I stand by my assertion that CCS will find ourselves in need of space in the Shelby Zone Elementary Schools very, very soon. In that case, if we have sold this property, we will lose twice. We will lose the due profit on this property, we will lose the difference in what we could have sold it for, and then we will lose again when we have to buy new land to build a new school. At the very least, the board should seek a profit and set that money aside for a wing at a new school, as has been suggested. I am unsure how the cafeterias, playgrounds, parking lots, and roads will support more students at any of our Shelby Zone schools, but I hope that each of you will do your due diligence to determine if that is feasible. I have concerns about the data that was presented to the board. I have submitted a public information request to understand why the superintendent changed the capacities from the MPS study that we paid $300,000 for. That request, my public information request, has gone ignored for 6 weeks. It seems wrong that the committee meetings are not recorded. The minutes are not complete. I mean, they're limited, and I understand that. And then public information requests are ignored. The board is struggling from a lack of transparency, and then when you add in a deal like this, it does lead to distrust with the community. I'm glad to see that you tabled the decision tonight, but this decision should have never come before this board without the completed purchase agreements for you to review and for the public to review. I hope to see more transparency from this board in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Tommy, I can't. Can, Tedder, okay. I'm sorry. That's okay. Restrictions.
Thank you. Good evening. Step up to speak against the sale of Marion School. I have nothing but admiration for the One More, One Less. You want this up? I have nothing but admiration for the nonprofit One More, One Less. They do a great job. My concerns are strictly financial. Whether you want to admit it or not, despite your numbers, you need the space. You need the space for students. But if you don't, how can we possibly speak at the last meeting about not having enough money for toilet paper and at the same time consider selling this property for the mentioned amount of only $140,000? I know it's listed on the tax books. It was previously listed at $2 million. I believe it's been dropped down to $1 million. It may not be worth that, but it's worth more than the proposed sale price. If you are truly looking out for the students and for the county, how could you sell an asset like this for that amount? I don't understand. I know you have said you are looking out for the neighborhood. Well, that's not your charge. Your charge is for the students of Cleveland County. You are not doing that by short selling this property. Again, despite your numbers, teachers say they are overcrowded, mobile classrooms, no computer lab space, no lunchroom space. Your first duty is to the students. You need the space. If you truly believe that you don't need the space and won't need it ever again, at least get the money that the space deserves. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tripp. All right. Next on our agenda is board comments. We will start. Anybody? Okay.
Okay, I would just like to say that I really enjoyed the recognition tonight, especially our students stand up for kindness. It's always brings it to reality when we have students here, because that's what we are about. So I enjoyed that. I want to congratulate Dr. Ware on her retirement. Dr. Ware has been around a long time. Unfortunately, I did not ever get to really work with Dr. Ware. It almost happened some years back, but I've always admired her and the great job that she's done, and I wish her the very best. I want to wish Shelby High School and Crest High School good luck, and let's bring home 2 state championships. I think that would be amazing. But I also want to congratulate you, and we're proud of you, and everyone have safe travels. Thank you for those that spoke tonight. Appreciate you coming and sharing your concerns with us.
Thank you, Ms. Sherman. Anybody else on this side?
Yeah, I want
Mr. Litt.
Most of you seen me hobbling around and riding the red goose over here in the corner. I had a accident, I guess you might say, here a couple weeks ago. I was loading trash onto a trailer and twisted my ankle, so I've been hobbling and have to go this way until at least the 17th. I also want to congratulate the Shelby and Crest teams for doing an excellent job, and I wish them the very best and hope that they will bring back the gold as far as our championship so that it can be displayed for everybody to see. I also want to thank Dr. Ware. I've known Dr. Ware for a long time. This new board member has been around for 26 years, and I've known her and visited with her in her school and in her classroom, and She has done an excellent job for our system, and we commend her and wish her the very best as far as in the future. Second of all, I want to reiterate the fact about the two policies that I voted against, and that are the policies that I voted against, the grievance and the other ones. It is my belief, and has always been, as long as I've been on the Board of Education, that if you have a complaint or if you have a grievance and it goes through the chain of command, if it is requested to be reviewed by the Board of Education, it is so granted. And that is my belief. I feel, I don't know whether the policy committee considered that or whether they even brought it up or not, but that's my belief, and as long as I'm around, I'm here to listen to you. But it still needs to come before the full Board of Education. Put your request in and ask for the meeting with the board. Other than that, I want to thank each of you for being here, for saying your piece. Terry, it's good to see you. It's been a while since I've seen you. And I thank the others who have spoken. So with that, I will stop.
Thank you, Mr. Ledford. Mr. Grigg.
First thing I want to say is that, you know, I appreciate this group that's coming before us. And, you know, it is a great organization. We have a lot of good organizations in Cleveland County that I'm thankful for also. But on this, you know, I really can't go along with this because of the fact that, you know, I feel like we do have a situation with growth in our community or in our county. So I'm going to continue to do what I was elected to do, and that's to look out for every single person in Cleveland County, not just one certain group, because the people of Cleveland County put me in this seat, and I owe them. I believe that by approving this tonight, or if it was approved, that I wouldn't be upholding my commitment to everybody in this county. For the past several years, we've all heard how we've run tight on money in here. There's no question about it. So I guess that raises an issue to me is if we were going to sell a school, why would we sell it at such a low price when we could make a bigger profit off of it to put the money back into the school system? But on the second thought of that, I don't see us selling that school because I do believe in the future, and I would say within a year to 18 months, we're going to be looking for a school. And these same people that are agreeing to sell it are going to be coming and asking you guys to help come up with the money to provide for another school somewhere or in addition to a school. We have this property now. We need to take it and we need to do what we need to do with it, get it back in shape if we need to. You know, I just don't know the answers, but I can tell you that I spent 8 years working corporate with Clearwater Corporation. When we got ready to build the second plant, we didn't get rid of the ones that wasn't making us money. We got rid of 3 plants up north that was high profits. And we took that money and funded that into Cleveland County to open up a second plant. So my point on that is, you know, why would we give a building away that we already know the tax value was $2.5 million in 2024? Now, it may be less now, and I hear the argument that the building's gone down, it's gone down. But, you know, I'd like to see it. I'd like for the board members to go over there and go inside that building and see it. We've heard it. We've not seen it. But I'd like to see it. So it's nothing against this group. You guys are great. And if you check around, you'll find out that I do a lot of things with a lot of different nonprofit organizations in Cleveland County because I believe in what's right for the kids. But this is one of those things that I have to look out for 15,000 kids and the whole community as a whole not just one group. Thank you.
Greg, you got anything? Over here? Not? Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Whoa,
I put over here.
well,
I didn't see
I
it.
don't have to say as much because they took my whole speech away from me.
Okay.
Mr. Grigg and Mr. Ledford, so I won't have to say quite as much. But I want to comment on one thing for sure, and I'm going to start with that. North Shelby had a Christmas party today at our school down there, and I'm telling you right now, everybody needs to go to that one time. You will get a blessing of your heart and your soul. I've been a part of that since I've been on this place. That is my gig down there at North Shelby. They do a wonderful job. Crest Middle School, if I'm not mistaken, and Burns, they came to that party to help with those relay races and stuff, and you see it. But we had one to outrun Corby. He just absolutely outrun him. And then we had one, he figured the hockey game out. He was in a wheelchair and he put his hockey stick on that, sliding that thing, and he slid it all the way. He didn't kick it. He knew how to handle that thing. So, I want to thank those part of them had their 17, junior 17s shirts on. Some was friends, and those teachers that work with those kids every day, it's a blessing that the teachers there that's got the heart to work with those kids, because it takes a person with a special heart to work with those kids every day. Every day. So, y'all need to pray for those teachers every day, without a shadow of a doubt. Well, I got through my positive, my positive. I'm going to start to get ready. Oh, and congratulations for them 2 football teams. I hope they bring back the state. Now let's get to the negative. I'm all about the foster, the adoptions, kids. But this county is growing. We're not dying. I went and checked the numbers. Period. There are houses going up on every corner. Everywhere. We even got a grader in here, and I guarantee he's working every day with that bulldozer. We got one in here. He's grading every day for that. We got a person in here that buys land. He flips houses. I guarantee he's not having no trouble selling his property. People are buying. There are 120 kids was born last month, as I said. There are over 1,300 or so for the year or whatever. We need to be thinking about that. I heard today that the project, now I heard this, I can't promise this, and I'm not saying it's happening, but the PPG, look at your watch, because I got about an hour left. The 1,400 houses right over here on the Blanton farm, that development's fixing to start. I'm hearing pretty soon. It's in the making. If that's taking place, 14 houses there, 250 houses yonder, 312 down yonder that's on contract, that rent out down on DeKalb Street. They're building everywhere. Out from Hollyoak Park, they got a whole development down there. They're building down my way. We're going to have space. It would take us anywhere from 2 to 3 years to build a school buy the land and grade. It will take that. I don't care what anybody says, it will take that long to build a school with any size. It's gonna take it. Where are we gonna put these? We gonna keep buying them, we gonna keep renting them mobile units and paying rent? We own a building. We did own 2. We could go right over yonder at Graham and put a gable roof on that building and put new windows in it. And it would be as good a school there is in Cleveland County, and as nice, because you can put fancy windows and put new blocks around that, because it's got a foundation that you will never put back in. That's what's over there as far as foundation-wise. And you've got to start with a foundation and go up. Because we've built new schools, and then we've had to go back in there and work on them, brand new ones. We've got some solid rock, and we need to think before we give it away when we're having to go borrow money to get toilet paper. Think twice. Think twice. This board, I haven't seen the restrictions of what's going to happen. I haven't seen that. What kind of restrictions is going with that when they get that building? I haven't seen that. Should this board has any of these board members seen the restrictions that's going to be added to that if the presentation buys it? Is anybody on there?
They sent them to us.
Huh?
They sent it to us. It came in our,
I can't hear you.
it came in our packet. You
The
got it.
restrictions?
Yeah, the whole packet came.
What packet? I like to see stuff on paper.
Print it out.
Huh?
Print it out.
All right.
Okay, all right. Well, as I said, I agree with what Mr. Grigg spoke about the whole time. So y'all got to save 15 minutes of me at least. But I want to thank everybody for coming tonight, all the kids that our FFA that done such a good job out in Indianapolis, and our little kids, our heroes, that we've got lots of them. It's not just them. But we got 14, and our numbers on our kids is 14,200 plus kids. We got down to a little under 14,000 last year. We're not dying. We are coming up. I hear every day, classrooms are full. Full. We're using closets. I heard today, I cannot prove this, that our lunchrooms is so small that some of our classes is having to eat in the classroom because, or they have to spread the lunchroom out so long. Some kids go a long time without eating. So we just need to think about selling. I know there's some plumbing work needs to be done over there. There's no question. But when a building went from $2,500,000 went to a $1,097,000, and then somebody come up with something that it's going to cost about $800,000 to get it fixed up for the group to use it. Why should that?
No, Mr. Marburger, please, this is just his comment. Okay?
But that shouldn't come off of our price. And then what was left was $145,000. That shouldn't come off us. We need money. If we sell the building, we need the money to put add a new building. And I tell you, and we need to make sure that we hire the best person to look after, to make sure that we're not getting gouged on prices, because that is happening everywhere, right here in Cleveland County. Make sure that we're getting a fair price for the fair dollar. Fair price for a fair dollar, and we're putting this stuff out for getting it out for bids now. We've had some jobs done lately, and they've been 7, 8 companies bidding on it. Make sure that you watch our internet, that if when these jobs come up, and get your bid in, because I don't believe in the cheapest bid. Check the company out, and if they do a good job, and I want things done right, period. And I want it safe for our children. So, I guess I'm gonna shut up and let y'all go home. But, huh?
All right.
Sure.
All right, thank you, Mr. Blanton. Are you, yeah, go ahead, Mr. Sperling, you have it.
Thank you. So I want to start off by saying, I don't care who we sell it to. I really don't. I think you're a good operation. I think you're a good cause. I really do. Don't really care who we sell it to. But, and here's why I would like to go with that sale. I think when the people from that community came in here and was telling us how beloved that school was, my loyalties lay with them. I would not want somebody, I live in rural Cleveland County. I would not want somebody to pull in there beside of me and build a chicken house.
Hold.
Hey, it's a reference, okay? It's a reference.
This is public comment. Please refrain from saying anything in the audience. Thank you.
The choice is, we pick who takes over the school, and they refurbish it. The $800,000+ is to refurbish just a piece of it at a time. So we get to pick who takes it, or we get to put it up for auction, and then the money wins, and then. So here's my belief: everybody that says let's go with the money, it ain't your backyard. That's why you say it ain't my money. So the majority.
Please, I'm going to have you removed if you don't, please.
So the majority of the people that I've talked to today said we want to keep it, and if they want to, since Miss Ross was so kind to give out my phone number, so
next person that speaks out of turn, Mr. Howell, would you remove him, please?
So if the people of that community don't care where that school goes, then I'm good with auctioning it off. I'm good with it. But my belief is money is not always the end. I believe in those people, it's their community. And I would like to abide by what they would like to do. I would also like to say that if we do need a school, I will say this: they are building houses here. They sure are. They're also building houses all over the country for retirement. So, last meeting, if you'll go look at the tape, at the video, there was a lot of data put out about how Cleveland County was growing, how the babies being born, the whole works. So if you want to believe the data, if you wanted to look at the data, do some homework, and then make a decision. But don't make a decision just based on what people say, not even what I say. So I do want to say, it doesn't matter to me. It does not matter to me if we sell it to the highest bidder or if we sell it to a nonprofit. But it does matter to me about what we do to our community. And if the people of that community don't care, then why should I? That's just the way it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Spurling. Anybody else? All right, I know everybody wants to leave, but I think it's only fair, whether you like me or not, I'm going to tell you why I voted in the operations meeting to sell it to this group. I heard a lot about money and all this. I believe my first responsibility is children that go to this school. I was in law enforcement for 30 years. I've stood in a house while we waited on DSS to come and remove kids to take them to foster care. That's heartbreaking. We have over 200 kids in foster care right now. Would I have agreed to sell this to any John Doe for the price? Absolutely not. I like to think outside the box. We always hear, what are you going to do about mental health? What are you going to do about drug use? Why can't the school system partner with somebody that's going to do something to help kids that are in foster care? These kids go to our school. They go to our school. So why can't we look at it like that? That's the main reason that I am for this, because, yeah, I would like to protect the neighborhood as well. But at the end of the day, it's about kids. And if those kids don't get proper treatment that are in foster care, then they're just going to end up in Turning Point or dropping out of school. These folks here are to help. That's why I like to think outside the box. If somebody else comes along tomorrow and says, we want to buy it for, I'm going to say, open bid. Open bid. But I feel like they can do something to benefit Cleveland County schools. Walk a mile in my shoes over the past 30 years. Sit in a law enforcement center with kids crying while you're waiting on DSS to come. Sit at the LEC while you're waiting and calling people to bring something for the kids to ride in because we don't have car seats, because somebody unknown to them is coming to pick them up. Shame on us if we can't think outside the box and do what's good for kids. None of us probably are foster kids. We have people come up here and talk about, we do this, we do this, we do this. Well, 2.5 years ago, the decision was made to make this school surplus or whatever. So the decision is, do we find a unique way to do something with it and keep it, or do we put it out for open bid? Yeah, we need the money, but sometimes money's not everything. So Joel, what is your plan for expansion? I hope the county just explodes. My plan is for exactly what happened at Crest High School. What happened? When we grew, 1960-something, Crest was built. What did we do? We added extensions. So if we add an extension to Jefferson, if we add an extension to James Love, guess what we don't have to hire? We don't have to hire another principal. We don't have to hire assistant principal. We don't have to hire custodians. We don't have to hire cafeteria staff. That's tax dollars. If we want to talk about being looking at our taxes on our people, you open up another school, you're looking at a couple $1 million just in staff. Why not add an extension onto a current school? You don't have to buy all that. You could save a couple $1 million. So, I'm at the point, I'm telling you why I voted for it. And I think I owe that to the people. I know there's people watching. Because my mission when I ran for school board, I didn't run up here to say, oh, I want to be on school board because I got some authority. I wanted to look after kids. And I said this in the operations meeting, and go ahead and slam me on Facebook if you want to. I don't care. I said I'd sell it to them for $1 because they help kids. Because they help kids. And that's on shame on the rest of us if we can't think outside the box and try to do something to help our children in this county who are being taken away. We won't talk about ICE taking them away. What do you think about, I took them away. I took them away. You know where they went? Foster care. That's what them people do. That's all I'm going to say about the situation. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion. Mr. Spurling, Mr. Bridges, all in favor?